Chapter 2 of When I Was a Boy. Now, all ad-libbing again. When I was a boy, we finished off with me, I don't know, doing a bit of chestnutting and scratching around for the golf balls. And then, as I say, I got a little bit older. I went to junior school, and that was the same school that was very close to where I grew up in the early days in Duck Lane. And as I said, Duck Lane used to back onto the back entrance of this school. So when I was in there, I was an early bird. I was up at the crack of dawn every morning, like, you know, and people must have thought I was mad. I was down in the school playground yard at 7 o'clock in the morning, something like that, and you see the old caretaker going round, and he'd go around and he's got these little outbuildings there, all in a little terrace, and he used to have the boilers in there, because we used to have radiators in the school there. I mean, they was big radiators. I mean, the fireplace was, well, like a bonfire. It was about 6 foot across, 3 foot deep, huge thing it was, but then you had to warm up a big classroom. You know, winter time you used to have these fires roaring up the chimney, and but we weren't allowed in. We had to go out and play, even as cold as it was. We weren't allowed in. Oh no. So anyway, I started helping the caretaker in the morning. Get the old milk, bottles of milk over. We used to have a bottle of milk, a little quart bottle at break time. Anyway, I'd get hold of this wheelbarrow and we'd shovel up this coke, and then we'd go round, walk through the school there and fill up each coal scuttle as we went with this coke. Then we'd stoke up the boilers as well, and I used to enjoy doing that, like, you know, and I think the caretaker looked forward to me helping him out there. So anyway, that was the early days of that school. That'll get just losing the trail of thoughts here. Kingsmead School it was called, but it used to be called St John's School. But then they changed it to Kingsmead School, which is where you got my shield from, where you got 3 chuffs on a shield and a line over the top. That used to be our badge that we put on our blazers here. And anyway, so we it's a quick slurp of my tea. And we had a residential dentist. Oh, he was a butcher, he was, and he used to have gas in here then. You either suffered with laughing or killed yourself with pain. Anyway, we go down and his dentist, and he cut the side of my mouth with the old, whatever they were, extractors. And you know, if I yawn hard to this very day, if I yawn hard, that still splits. And I was only a shaver when I had that done. That's a lad. Anyway, you go in this place. Oh, it was horrible trying to take this gas in here. I put this mask over your face. Oh, leave it. Oh, and then I'd shove it on your face. You will, you will breathe it. You know. Once you took the first breath, after that it was. It really used to make you breathe even heavier, so you inhale it, and boom, you was out like a cat at a shot. And anyway, you come to, and when you come to, you got all this dizziness and walking around. Come on now, get up, off you go, go on, hurry up, off you go and play. I just had a tooth out, like, you know. And of course you go, they used to what we call these arches, mission huts we used to call them, a bit like what they had during the war. And used to come out of there, people used to think you was drunk. And of course your mate would come up to you, "Oh mate, where you been? Just had a tooth out of you." Poor, he says, "Your breath stinks of gas." Terrible. Yeah, that was the other thing, right? Everywhere we went, we had this little cardboard box, about so long, so high, about so deep, and on a bit of string. And you've seen some of the old war films where you see these little kids walking around with this little bit of string and this box on there. There's our gas mask in there. Everywhere we went, we had to carry that. Even when the war was over and I was a shaver, I just moved up to 9 Cumberland, our second house, I still used to go around wearing this. That's how stupid it got. Anyway, so, and then we built these little go-kart things out of apple boxes, which I told you about, and and then I think, cause my mate Christopher, he's one of the 3 boys that's in the beginning of one of the videos. His dad used to work in a milk factory. Used to be called Abbott's Dairy, and his dad used to work in there, and quite often we'd go down on a Saturday morning to see him, like, you know. Well, that man, he worked hard, he did work hard to the point where I think he was one of the first people up our road to have a car. And he bought this, and I always remember it, this little red 1100 made by BMC, I think it was, someone like that, or Austin. And he had this little car, and he started up driving lessons. And I think, I mean, when we used to go out earning our pocket money, if we got £0.50, that £0.50 would cover off our dinners at school for the week. You know, that's how much it was, £0.50. I'm trying to convert that for some of you people. Today's modern money, that would be 12.5 pence. Which you got a lot less for now than what you used to back then. Back then, well, of course, that's half your wages. And anyway, so he got this car and he started out in this driving school, and he had a fair few customers, like, he was keeping busy. He'd do that all over the weekend, which is how a lot of driving schools started. And as I got older, he let me borrow his car to go for my test. Anyway, that's another story. That's when I was a teenager. So what we used to do is we go over this on a Saturday afternoon if my dad was home. They used to have a programme on telly called Come Wrestling. I don't know if any of you people out there know it, but Come Wrestling used to be an afternoons wrestling. Johnny Quango used to be one, he was a good guy. Big Fat Daddy, there's another one. And then there's another one, wore a patch over his eye. He was a nasty one. Then you have what they call tag wrestling, where you had 2 people against 2 people, but you was only allowed 1 on each team in the ring at that point. And you could only let the other one in if it was hanging onto a piece of string that went halfway across to the next post of the ring. If he could reach you, still holding on that string, and tag you with his hand, he can jump in the ring and take over. Used to watch that. And then when that all finished, me and my mates used to go outside and have a right old scrap out on the green. And there's a bit of waste ground top of our road, and a lay-by in it was where the bus used to turn round. And we'd be doing that, and I don't know what time I started it. And sometimes my dad, he was a bus driver then, because when he came out of the army, I'll come back to that in a sec. When eventually he came out of the army and went in the TA, and it was more like part-time army soldier, and he got a little job over in a little village called Ickham, near a little village called Littlebourne. and the next little village to the left of it was called Ickham. And he used to work in a farm there in this big shed. It was a garage, had a pit so you could get underneath and work on the car, slurp of the tea. And everything he made was painted khaki. Now that's a greeny sort of colour that our army used, you know, on the army trucks and all that, you've probably seen that colour. Well, everything was khaki, so he must have had drums of this stuff. He made me a scooter one day. Oh, it was a nice scooter, I've got to give him that, it was a nice scooter. I mean, it was the biggest and the best in the road. He got the platform that you stand on. And the wheels, he used 2 wheels off of a wheelbarrow. Pump up, you can imagine the big fat chunky wheels. Oh, it was a nice one though. I used to enjoy that. I'd play on that all the hours under the sun I did on that. And then when I'd go down there sometimes and help him, he'd have a little cream metal tin with a pale blue lid on, hinged top like, very similar to an Alcoid tin, you know, but much bigger scale. So have our sandwiches in there, and he'd have this flask, and when it come dinner time, you just remember this certain smell you used to get when it's dinner time. There's that mixture smell of sandwiches and oil. Yeah, dirt and grease on your hands, you'd be munching away on your sarnie. Never used to bother us. Anyway, sometimes this old farmer come round, he said, "I'm just going over, just across the lane from the garage, just going over the field there, chuck some turnips in, this, that and the other, like, for the sheep." And he went, Ray, because that was my dad's name, he said, "Would your lad like to come and help me feed these sheep?" I jumped at it, I thought, "Oh yeah, I'd love to do that, like." So we went across the road. Once we got the old gate open and got in here, he went, "Right." I said, "What do you want me to do, sir?" And he had to be very polite in them days, like, you know. And we did respect people, like, they're our elders after all. Well, he said, I'd like you to go round the field with my horse." He says, "You can drive on the back of the wagon, and you steer my horse round this field. All right, my boy?" Right, old country boy he was. Yeah, great, like, you know, I'd have to do that. Anyway, so, and I can't find that picture. It was taken with an old brownie camera. They used to call them a brownie box camera. And I've hunted high and low. My sister, my eldest sister, she might have one somewhere. But I used to go around there, do you know what, I used to look forward to that every Saturday morning, go around here, feed the sheep, kick 1 or 2 turnips out of the back of the trailer, and a big old cart horse like Jack Hargreaves has at the beginning of his programmes. And it's funny how something sticks in your head, isn't it? Like, and that always stuck in my head because I've watched that religiously without missing one, like, you know. And as I say, it was only a short programme. You sit there and when it finished, you just go, "Oh, just get into that." Well, there you go, you know, I mean, they only had little slots for these things. So anyway, we used to do that, and I'd come home, and then at the end of our road, we used to have this lay-by. Well, my dad eventually, sometime later, quite a while later, eventually he went bus driving. So, I mean, he had his goods. I mean, he used to drive a truck when he lived up north, which was before we were born. And his brothers used to drive trucks as well. And so didn't have to have a test or licence then in them days, like grandparents' rights or grandfather's rights or something or other they call it. Anyway, so slurp of the tea. He went on the buses, and when my mum were in at the weekend, she'd say, your father's on number 25 today, which, well, number 25 used to take us from the end of our road right the way down into the town, and you then used to be able to drive through the town. And there used to be a policeman, you know, the old big wide white bands across him, and he'd stand on the pedestrian crossing, and he was God, mate. You never mess with him. If he went stop, mate, you stopped. And anyway, makes you wonder how them buses got down that down that High Street, because excuse me, it wasn't very wide. If they see another bus coming, they'd hold back to where it was wide, and let the bus come through the narrow bit, you know. And it'd go right the way through the town, and it'd go out the other side, up the hill to another housing estate called London Road Estate, which was off of the old London Road that takes you to London. And you go up there, and that's what they do. They go from London Road Estate back down to Spring Lane Estate, London Road Estate, you know, and then next day you might be on that all day, or do a shift, and then after that you'll be on another little route. So getting back to my mother, she'd say, your father's on 25 today. All right. So, and she knew exactly what time their buses run, what time they've got to be at the end of the road there, and what time they leave. And she'd make a cup of tea just a few minutes before the bus would turn up. And to the point in the end, I always make the cup of teas. And sorry, I love the little sound of a goldfinch singing out there. I do love them birds. That's what these gypsy cages are. So she said, yeah, I'll go and take that up to your father. So I walk up the street with this tray, 2 cups and saucers with this tea, little sugar bowl, cut spoons, and I'll get up, and just so I got up there, the bus was backing in, because they'd have two on that run. You'd have one at one end and one at the other, and they'd both leave the same time, and they crossed in the middle, which is usually somewhere down the town. And I'll be stood up there, and you get out and out the door, and in they go. And there's always one bus conductor who used to take the money. Double deckers they were, used to go up a half spiral staircase to the top deck. And there's always one particular bus conductor there, very quiet spoken bloke. But he had a big, I think it was like a birthmark right down his face, huge thing it was. But that man was so polite and so nice, and he spoke very quietly, you know. And you couldn't help but not like the bloke. He was so, genuine. And when he'd take your money, he'd always land out, he'd give him your tuppence. Thank you very much, young man, he'd go. And he'd wind the old ticket machine, give you your ticket. Oh, those were the days. Used to have some fun then, we really did, like, you know. But I do feel sorry for some of the kids of today. I mean, all the fun of growing up has gone out of it. It's gone out of it, and it is a shame. But there we go. Now, right opposite this bus lay-by, just finish up my tea. Yeah, bear with me. And that man there, that one there, that's me with my Springer. What a big shoot that was. Right, but that's another story. Was this bit of waste ground opposite the bus stop. We used to play around on there, all the kids. I mean, it wasn't kept cut short, the grass wasn't kept short, it was just rough ground like a bomb site. Anyway, we used to mess around on there. And every year, we'd have our Guy Fawkes night on there, and we'd build this big bonfire. And when I say big, I mean big. I mean, this thing was as high as a house. And I don't know where we got all the wood from, but you know, so over the back near the logs where we used to play, we'd go up there and you get all the kids are going all different directions like rats, and they come back to these bits of wood, all sorts, branches, trees, and we built this big pyramid, and God, it was huge to the point where you climb up the branch the best you could to get up on the top, make a little crow's nest up there like. And you know what, we had to take turns at patrolling that. You'd sit up there to make sure there's another estate which they call Querns Road Estate, which was on the way up out of our estate on the main road, and there'd be another estate up there near the army barracks where and quite often them people, they come down here and that was really rough family, a lot of rough kids around there. Listen. Goldfinch. So, oh, and that's Yogi Pokemon. Ice cream to you. And anyway, so we take turns at sitting in the crow's nest and guarding the bonfire. Because they would come down here and they'd trash it. Well, there's nasty lot of kids up there, like, you know. And I think then the council used to keep the nasty families one way, the sort of not so bad in another estate, and the really well behaved ones used to be on our estate. So, well, they thought we was the good ones, but what they don't know, the art won't grieve over, will it? Right, so anyway, Guy Fawkes comes, and that was it. I mean, this is where we used to save all our pennies, like when we used to go selling chestnuts and all the other bits and bobs to get some money for our fireworks. Mainly bangers, we like the bangers, but Mum says, no, get some pretty, nice pretty ones and all that. Yeah, alright Mum. And 9p pocket money we used to get a week, 9p. Now let me convert that. 9p. Do you ever remember the old threepenny bit? That's going back a bit now. Hexagon shape, like the 50p piece. Well, it's funny enough, they've now done away with the pound. Yeah, they've done away with the pound. And what they've done now is, this is the new pound. Let's see if I can bring it in close. This is the new pound. And that's got flat sides on it, you see it? Because too many of the old ones was being copied, you know, false ones. Of course they use these in the old machines for parking your car and everything else, all loads of stuff. So, what do I get? Yeah, that's a pound. Well, the old threepenny bit used to be that shape, just like that. And that was 3p, and you did get 3 of them a week for your pocket money, which was really peanuts. Let's put it this way, then all that would buy you, 9p, was a bar of Bounty, coconut Bounty if you remember them, or something like Twix, 1 bar, that's all that would buy you. So, goes to show, it weren't a great deal, but you either had the chocolate or you saved it and spent it on the fireworks. Well, that time of year what you used to do is spend it on fireworks. So when we done that, we had the bonfire going, and all the parents used to come up, go around it. Like some of the parents would put a potato in a bit of baker foil when the fire burnt down a bit, throw that in the edge of the fire, like, and then by about, I don't know, 10 o'clock in the evening, they'd rake them out, like, and you got yourself a nice hot cooked potato. And then in between that time, we used to go around getting this wood. It must have been, it weren't a very big wood. What times we had lived our lives through it, it got a bit thin. I used to go over there with my dad's bow saw, and we'd be cutting these branches off of these live trees, would you believe? Anyway, we'd try and get some dead ones if we could, and you'd always go over there with a couple of you, and you'd come back with this big old log or something or other like. Anyway, I'd take it home, I'd be out in the back garden, and I'd be sawing this up, and then I'd sit on the shed step with what you call I think they call them a billet. It's a chop. We call them a chopper, but it's long and then it hooks at the end. It used to be called a billet. I think that's the correct name. Anyway, I'd sit there. I wouldn't say I'd done a lot of chopping, but that was a concrete step, and concrete step like that. Well, this one was like that. We had fun doing that much chopping. I was chopping up all these bits of wood like, and then I'd get an old bit of wire. I don't know where I get this. I rummage around in my dad's shed and I come across this bit of wire or something, and I'll get myself a little bundle like that, and I'll put this wire around it, because there used to be a bloke come round in an old Bedford, you know, one of the long nose, old Bedford, green it was, always remember that colour, dark green. I've just got this thing about green. And everything I've got is green. So he'd come round there and he had these 5-gallon drums of paraffin on, and he'd have logs on, and he'd have these little bundles of kindling. And so he used to go around the back, on the back entrance. There's a little square, of flatlets, and I think he used to put a lot of elderly people in there, people of my age, you know what I mean. Anyway, I thought he's going around here and he's flogging that. This is how we used to think when we were lads. He's flogging that. And I says, one day I went round, excuse me miss, I says, how much are you charged for your kindling? Oh, he charges us 6pence. For 6pence? That's more than my week's bloody pocket money. Oh, it's just that I got some old wood and I've done up some kindling and I'm just trying to sell a little bit. Oh, I was going around there flogging. Oh dear. I was going around there flogging my kindling to his customers. And he'd go around the following week wondering why no one's buying anything off him. Anyway, oh sorry about that. Oh, laugh, I nearly bought my own beer then. Anyway, so I was going around there doing that. I was doing that a fair old time before he cottoned onto it. He must have sat round the corner and think, I wonder who's doing this. Like, he thought he'd got a competitor. Well, he had, me. Anyway, so, because it's all coal fires then, there was none of this heating by gas and electric and all that stuff, like radiators. Well, we had one radiator in our house, and it was upstairs in the top bedroom, and that was like an overflow pressure thing. The girls had that in their room, I had nothing. And but the only way you could get that hot water was if you had a fire down in the front room, because the back boiler was, as I say, at the back of the fire. And you had the fire, that would warm up the water, and we always had a fire on a Sunday because that was bath night, wasn't it? So, and it would only hold enough water to make one bath. So that's why we all had a bath in the same water. As I say, by the time it come around my turn, all my youngest sisters, it was getting a bit cold, you know what I mean? Anyway, so we used to chop out the wood and do that. That's how we used to earn our money. And then what else did we start doing on from there? We used to play football over on that green. That used to be quite a bit of fun. And then we also have the old, we used to call him a rag and bone man, used to come round. Again, he had a little van, green, and it could have been khaki. And it was like a Austin 7 van, I think it was, little Austin 7 van. And in the back, it had the back doors open, and it had these shelves, about two or three shelves. And he'd come round collecting rag and whatever. And well, we used to miss out on that because my mum used to take it down to the old scrap man Jackson's, he was, and we used to go and weigh in all our wool and cloth and that sort of stuff. He'd weigh it all in and he'd give me mum the money. Wasn't a great deal, but it's better than nothing, wasn't it? Anyway, he used to come along the street now and again, and what he used to do is he used to have some rag like, and if you went, you'd run in the shop indoors and get anything like, you know, think, well, I don't wear that no more, and there you go. And but we never done the wool because my mum used to unpick that and re-knit jumpers and what have you. And I was determined to get rid of this pink jumper that she made me wear. Pink? I thought, that's where that's going. Anyway, so I went over there and I thought, yeah, top notch for wool, isn't it? You know, we knew that. And they go, yeah, alright, and you throw it in the back. Anything along that top shelf there. And you used to have little cars and dinky toys and, oh, it was a little haven it was. And that's how we got some of our little toys, like, you know. And train set, well, ages before I had a little train set, ages. And my dad made me a little railroad track in my bedroom because it was more like a box room. And he had made it out of this plyboard, and he screwed the track onto the plyboard, and he screwed the plyboard onto the wall with hinges. So when you finish, you could lift it up against the wall, turn a little block to hold it up there, so it was out of the way, you didn't lose your space. Made it a bit awkward when I had my old gramophone. That's a wind-up job, that was. Used to wind that up, and used to see these balls go around when it was. That's where we used to play 78s and 78s. I think it used to play. I don't know where we got all these records from, but I got one there. I could never remember the name of it, but it was done. The music was with a trumpet, and it used to. Yeah, you're gonna laugh. It used to go do 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 do, and I used to remember that song. It's brainwashed, isn't it? I used to play it over and over again. It must have drove my mum and dad mad. But there you go. It's those little things, and then eventually that went, and we yeah, I think that'll I'll have to sort of put my memory back in gear and think about when I was a young man, I suppose, because yeah, after that that's when I had my first little dog, and that's for episode 3. Cheerio.